Hello everyone, and welcome back to the wonderful world of Allods Online. We are continuing with my Introduction to Allods Online series. This is part 5. We're finally going to go over the different things that you can expect from the skills tree, as well as the Ruby grids, and how that works exactly. So here we are again with our Gibbernin character, and we're still in this training area. Oh, there's a couple crown monsters over there. Crown monsters are kind of like elite monsters, but not really. They're not that much tougher than normal monsters. And they always have a fixed piece of loot that they will drop for you. It's always the same thing. That's why it's fixed loot. But they'll always drop you something. So, anyways, now you've seen the skill tree before on Gibbernin. So here are my physical skills. Here are my magic casting skills. And then over here are my pet-related skills, as well as some restoration. And then here is a fourth column. This is kind of miscellaneous stuff. I've got some healing. I've got potion making of various types. Actually, with the warden, this is almost entirely potions. So, I'm going to go ahead and kill these crowns, because they're right here. Go get her! He drops the Club of Corrosion. Ah, feared. Or no, not feared. Locked in place. And she drops the Blouse of the Bedraggled. Binds when equipped. Since it's not popping up anything for me to compare it to, apparently I don't have one. Sweet. Now I'm wearing a shirt underneath my armor. This is a one-handed mace. Yeah, don't need that. Anyways, so, now, again, we are only level 5 with this character, Gibbernin, so we can't actually see the Ruby grids yet. They don't come up until level 10. So, what I thought I'd do was, change it up a little bit. And by change it up a little bit, I mean switch to an entirely different character. Gibbernin is a level 5 warden. So, here is Kitsu, the level 55 warden. So she is max level. This is the only high level Empire character I have. So you can see here the Empire is kind of a whole different looking animal compared to what you see from most of my other videos, because I tend to play League. Anyways, I am an orc shaman, which is their version of the oh, I'm just wearing the helmet. Their version of the warden. I am not a particularly big fan of the orc character class. That's just my personal preference. That being the case, I keep her head well covered. So this is Kitsu. She's my level 55 warden, and her pet, Shiki, who is a custom pet because, well, the orc pets are really ugly. I mean, really ugly. Anyways, this character actually was migrated. I did level her up as a Canian warden, and then when the option was available, I already had other high levels on the League side, so I decided I would do a faction change, and she became a orcish warden. So there you have it. Now this character has been reset so that we can take a good look and see what kind of skills are available for a high level warden and what the Ruby grids have for us. So let's take a look. So you'll see same exact skills that I get on Gibbernin, but I've got all of the Ruby grids unlocked here. and I've got a pretty large chunk of rubies. I can just invest into those. So, you'll notice here, talent tree, the first skill on each one of the talent trees corresponds, or each branch of the talent tree corresponds to one of the ruby grids. So you've got your Wolf's Blow grid, then you've got your Lightning Strike grid, and you've got your Maul grid. And it's not 100% biased towards that type of gameplay, but generally speaking, when you want to use physical skills, you're going to find most of the rubies that affect your physical traits and physical combat under the physical ruby grid here. And likewise with the lightning grid, right here, if you want to focus more on casting and things like that, most of those options are going to be in the lightning grid. And then of course for your pet skills, most of the things that interact with your pet that you can customize are going to be under the pet grid, or your Maul grid. Well, let's dive in here and take a look. First off, this is the physical stuff. Now, I'm not planning on building this character up as a physical fighter. I'm not a big fan of that with the wardens. I tend to let my pet do most of the fighting and stay back and cast some spells. That's just how I like to play my character. Of course, feel free to dress up your character however you want. But here we've got something that makes one of your basic attacks do 2 strikes instead of 1. This makes it so that all of your combat abilities are increased by 3% for damage. More combos. If you were to take a ruby in this, say here's the first part of this combo strikes. Current rank is 1. So it makes a combo of 2. And then here I've got the other 2 rubies for this combo strikes ability. So if I come over here, now I've already got it at rank 1, so it'll show me if I mouse over it. Rank 2 will get me what? Now I can make a combo of 3 strikes. And the cooldown is a little bit higher. So if I take that, now my current rank is 2. If I mouse over another one, rank 3 would be 4 strikes with a cooldown of 4 seconds. So there we go. My current rank on combo strikes is up to 3. 3 is not necessarily the highest rank that you can get for some of these skills. For the majority of them, yes it is, but there are a few skills in the ruby grids that are going to be only a couple ranks, or some of them are just one-offs, where you only have 1 ruby that you can invest into them, and some of them are actually going to have more than 3. So usually those are just stat bonuses and things like that, but you can put 3 or 4 ranks into certain things. But here's an example of a one-off. This is the Potion of Punishment. It's basically an anti-mage potion that you can make, and if you throw it at them, it makes it so that they take damage anytime they cast another spell within 20 seconds. Up to 3. And there's no other skills there to level that up. It's just a one-off. If you've got the ruby invested into that, you gain that skill. Now, a lot of the stuff that you find in the ruby grid is going to be passive things. For example here, cooldown duration of Aqua Vitae and Healing Balm reduced by 10%. These pertain to a specific skill, Aqua Vitae and Healing Balm, and those, this is just a passive for those. So if I grab that, now I've got the ability, and it's just on my character once I hit learn, of course. And she's sitting there having a drink. If I rank that up, it'll go up to 15%, and finally 25% with all 3 ranks. That is not stacking. That's total. So this is 10% as it is. That's 15%. It's not 15% in addition to this 10%. It's just a total of 15%. And then 25%. So they don't stack like that. It's as you see it. So again, this is where you really get into customizing your build. So if I want to use a big old staff as a two-handed weapon, I'll probably want to start allotting rubies into these kind of things if I plan on doing physical damage. If I want to use claws, well, I'm not going to want these rubies because they're not going to be very useful to me. So I'm going to start focusing on those skills. Again, if I'm going for physical damage. Now, if I pop over into this grid, this is where the stuff is that I want myself. This is where I'm going to find lightning skills or magic skills, casting stuff. And then, as mentioned before, I really like using my pet a lot, so this is all pet stuff. So I'm just going to go along and start making up my build and give you a little bit of a show of what I'm going to do for this character. This is not going to be a perfect build. I'm really just taking a peek here and showing you what it's like. I'm going to close this window here. And pop that back open. Alright, so increases chance to dodge by 35% of your current chance to dodge for you and your pet. That sounds pretty nice. Pet's health and energy regeneration rates are increased by 36% while in ghostly form. I can't read. There's a lot of blah, blah, blah going on my side here. So 36%. So that's my character right now is in ghost form. She's not actively out here to fight. So right now she'll regenerate this energy bar pretty slowly, as well as her health. But, I mean, I'm not fighting anything, so I'm at full. But I do sometimes need to pull my pet out of the fight, mid-fight, so that she can regenerate. So I want this up probably all the way. So there we go. With that at rank 3, it doubles the speed at which she regenerates while she's out of combat. Nature's Grip, this is a active skill. You can see it's got a cast time and a mana cost, so that's kind of your way of knowing, oh, right, this is actually a active skill I need to use. It's not passive. Whereas this one, again, is just passive. Nature's Grip is a root, and, well, it's not really a root. It's just an AoE slowdown effect. So if I grab one rank of that, summons roots for 20 seconds, slows down all enemies in the area by 70%. Yes, that does work on other enemy players as well. If I upgrade it, it'll go up to 80% slowdown. And I believe, yeah, the cooldown is a little bit less, and the cast time is a little bit less. So, a minute 30 cooldown at level 2, and 2 minutes cooldown at level 1. But I don't really want that, so... Let's see. Now, I'm going to come up here. Bestial Synergy grants your pet's attacks a 25% chance to increase your luck by 5% for 25 seconds. The reason I took that is I want to get up here. So notice, as I click on a ruby, it unlocks the next adjacent rubies. You can take blanks if you want to get across a gap. For example, if I wanted to come over here and grab Blade Turner, increasing my chance to parry, and then I want to come over to Acute Pain, but I don't want to go down this way, because, well, that's going to be 1, 2, 3 rubies to get to Acute Pain, and if I don't have a whole lot of rubies, I can save a ruby by doing it this way. So, 1, 2, 3, okay, well, I'm 1 ruby out versus 1, 2. Now, that is a wasted ruby, though. I don't get anything by putting that in that spot. But if you're in a situation where you're really down to the wire and you just don't have enough rubies, sometimes you might edge it out a bit, something like that, and give yourself that 1 extra ruby that you can put into something else. Or I could put it into another level of Acute Pain. Open Wounds is a skill that I use as a warden. I combo off of it. So I'm going to take this and max it out. So at rank 3, Open Wounds does 150% more duration and 100% more damage, so double damage. Ah, there we go. Decreases cooldown of all pet abilities by 10%. I like that. So I'm going to actually just charge right down through here and grab those. 30% cooldown on all of my pet skills. The Great Hunt effect increased by 20% and then 40%. That is a skill I use a lot as a pet type warden. Critical strike damage inflicted by your pet increased by 7%. And then this is just straight up increases your pet's damage by 3%, 6%, 9%. Pet spends 10 energy to attack the target for 62,003. For whatever reason, there's 3. Physical damage. If the target has pain shock, it receives 103,500 poison damage. So I can grab that. And the next rank of it bumps the damage up just a little bit. Acute pain deals 17,422 damage when the effect fades or when pet's ability's Rip is used. So where is Rip? Right here. Now I will go through here real quick and just kind of explain where I'm going with this because I have done it before. So first off, what I want to do is use Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike, as you can see at the bottom of the description there, it will have a chance of knocking the target off balance. If the target is under the pain shock effect, your Rip or Shred attacks have a 40% chance to knock the target off balance. So I want to use that. I want them to be knocked off balance because if I use Maul on them, it deals bonus damage and will put open wounds on them. So first I hit them with lightning, then I pop Maul on them because not only does it deal bonus damage, but it puts that open wounds on them. Now remember over here, the duration and the damage dealt by open wounds has been increased. So I'm really trying to flesh out the amount of damage that that particular skill is doing. Then, so I know I'm going to want these skills just maxed out right from the start. So I'm going to go ahead and just sync 3 of those, or rank those up to 3. And I'm going to put this up to rank 3 as well. Great Hunt, because it increases my pet's damage by 40% and it gives them a lot more threat. So that keeps them tanking, and a 40% increase to the damage they're dealing, when you combo it with all the other stuff, that's a pretty significant chunk of damage. Then, I already know this, but Vortex is what I want to use once I've hit them with Maul. So they've got open wounds from this combo. I can extend that combo even more by using Vortex. Down there at the bottom it says, if a target has an open wound and you have learned the Shred ability, the target receives pain shock. So I grab that. So now we know that acute pain, this pertains to the pain shock effect. So when the effect fades or when the pet's Rip ability is used, it's gonna do some damage. And then right here is what I'll basically use as the finisher. Pet spends 10 energy to attack the target for a lot of damage. If the target has pain shock, it receives basically double the amount of damage it would normally get from this attack. So it's one of the longest combos in the game, but it does a huge amount of damage if you get it off. So first I hit them with lightning, then when they get knocked off balance, I'm going to use Maul. Maul's going to give them open wounds, so I hit them with Vortex. Vortex puts them into pain shock, which I then finally finish off with Shred. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 skills all in this combo, but at the end of it all, I'm going to be dealing a huge amount of damage to an enemy. Now, for a lot of the little trash mobs, that's not going to be very important because I'm going to take them out in only a couple hits anyways. But when we're out doing astral runs or things like that, or I'm doing a fight with a boss, I'm going to be able to deal out huge amounts of damage to that boss if I start stacking that combo up. Now, before I spend too much of my rubies, I am going to want to come over here and spend some in the lightning path. So I've got most of the stuff in here that I want. Blood Shroud sounds pretty nice. When the pet transfers to the ghostly plane, you get a 33% chance to obtain the effect, increasing melee damage by 23% for 15 seconds. I don't deal melee damage, so I'm not interested in that. Grants your pet a 2% a 2% chance of restoring 15% of its energy and health upon receiving damage. Pretty nice if you've got a tank pet, but I'm not convinced. I don't necessarily want to spend those rubies somewhere else, so we can come back to that if I've got some extra rubies. For now, let's take a look over here. One other skill that I know I'm going to want is Aqua Vitae. This is kind of the ultimate skill for a warden. You'll see a lot of people running around asking wardens if they can have AEs or AVs, usually the AEs, which is a special kind of potion that only wardens can make. You can have up to 5 of it given to you, and it basically restores a big chunk of your health and mana when you use it instantly. It's got a pretty lengthy cooldown on it, but as you see right now, it's 25% of your health and 20% of your mana instantly return to you upon using this potion. Very good if you're in a sticky situation. But I can also come over here and increase it with Medley Mastery. Bum bum bum. And I'm not sure it's going to actually show that increase on here. No, it's not. But that will increase the power of my Aqua Vitaes. The other thing is I can reduce the amount of time it takes between being able to use those with these here. So with that, I've basically got the best Aqua Vitaes that I can make. And you'll see there's another skill here. This one here, Healing Balm. It used to be called Aqua Eternus, but for some reason they changed the name. This is basically just an upgraded version of Aqua Vitae. You'll notice it's got a little arrow here that goes down and points to another one. So you'll see these on a lot of the characters, actually all of them. What they do is basically the exact same thing, it's just a slightly improved version. And when I say slightly improved, I mean very slightly. So you don't necessarily need to bother getting the upgraded versions of these unless you've got the talent points to spend. So I'm going to grab some Renew, and this is an excellent skill for me. And let's see, got that up, got that up. Aqua Morte or Lethargy? I am gonna go with Aqua Mortes. But putting one more point in there unlocks the upgraded version of my Aqua Vitae, and I know I'm gonna want that, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Alright, and back to our lightning strike here. Let's see. Increases you and your pet's endurance by 5%. Endurance is your resistance to receiving critical strikes. Now, I know that I want to get my rubies up here because really you're going to spend time looking around at any of your ruby grids and you're going to go over them and you're going to be in here forever. So I don't want to spend too much longer looking at this stuff, so I'll try to speed this up a bit. But Power Explosion, Lightning Strike, Flash Lightning gain a 15% chance to inflict 20% more damage. And during the last 5 seconds of the call for power effect, they inflict 50% more damage. This is call for the power. Reduces the amount of healing that I can receive, but it increases my damage by 10% for 30 some odd seconds. So if I really want to start dishing out damage, that's the way to do it. So let's up that. Additional mana cost caused by static charge effect or decreased by 30%. I'll hike my way over here with that. And pick up both of these. So 30% chance to inflict 20% more damage just from the get-go now. So my lightning will be that much more effective. So over here, lightning strike and flash lightning damage increased by 4%, 8%, 12%. There we go. Just a flat increase to damage that I can deal with lightning. Call for power rank 1. Call for power rank 2 gives me 20% more damage. And reduces the healing penalty. So I've still got 5 rubies left. So now I've got to make a decision here. I can go down this way and increase the effectiveness of my heal spell, which is just an off heal. Wardens can't really be main healers. I can increase my intelligence and my pet's strength, so make both me and my pet better there. I can reduce the mana cost of some of my skills, or I can come back over here and try to make it so that my pet's got a little better chance of restoring energy and health. I'm going to put 3 into Force of Nature, increasing my strength and intelligence by 9%. And then I am going to come over here and give my pet a 4% chance of restoring more of its health and energy upon receiving damage. So it's just kind of a rare chance that maybe it'll do a little bit better. If it gets hit, it might heal more instead of just taking damage and damage and damage. So there we go. I've basically got my ruby grid allotted. As you can see, even though I had 52 rubies, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't take. And these are all different ways that I can bend my character to how I want to play the game. And I've still got some points here. I'm probably going to come on and use grab. Because that's a pretty nice increase. And flash lightning to increase my lightning damage instead of just the standard lightning spell. And that leaves me with 2, but yeah, I've only got a few abilities I'm really trying to actively use, and they're all kind of set up in the combo that I want. So now I would click on the learn button and this would just go whoop and fill up. Double check everything a couple times to make sure you've got what you want. Actually, I've decided I'm going to go with the lethargy potion instead. There we go. Now, there are other ways of getting more rubies. There's some things you can get from the cash shop that will unlock a certain X amount of extra rubies for you. Unfortunately, that is something that is on the free servers, not something that you can do on the subscription server. So there we go, and boom, I have tons of stuff on this bar, probably more than I can actually put on there, so I'm gonna have to take some things off and put them on with my skill book, but we'll do that later. I've been sitting here drinking for ages. Anyways, this video is running really long now, so that's about all there really is to it for this character. Again, the grids are totally different depending on the class that you choose, and not really the race. The races are all pretty much the same. It's all about the class. and there's a lot of stuff you can do to customize it. If you run into trouble and you mess up your build, don't worry about it too much. Up until level 15, you can freely go and reset it. Once you hit level 15, you'll have to have a special item, either from the cash shop, or if you're on the sub-servers, you can go and just pay a gold fee. But then you can reset it and start all over, which is basically what I did at the beginning of this video. So it lets you tinker with things a little bit. If you're in an area where you can get advice from guildmates or something, I highly recommend asking them for input and seeing what they suggest for doing a build. There's a lot of different build guides and stuff that you can find online, as well as build calculators. Most of them are pretty up to date, not all of them, but they keep changing things in the game, so tweaking things here and there and improving them. So not all of those are up to date, but a lot of them are, and they're a good way for you to find out or try out different builds and see what they're like. And then, of course, nothing is as good as just flat out trying a build. There are some items you can get in the cash shop here. Let's see, they're under Respecs and services. There's Water of Life, or Water of Death, I'm sorry. There's Life Waters and Death Waters, and those are Life Waters are for stat points, and then Death Waters are for your talents and rubies. Droplet of Death lets you renew it as many times as you want and respec as many times as you want for a week. So the waters only let you do it one time. So I highly recommend, if you want to play around with your builds a lot, pick up one of the droplets of death. They used to be called fountains. I guess Fountain of Death is kind of morbid, but anyway, they'll give you a week to just play with your build and tinker it however you want. It really is a lot of fun to get in there and just custom tailor your build, knowing especially that it's your build. You know, everybody else is going to be slightly different. You don't often find two people that are really that similar in their play style, and even if they were, they might use a different set of weapons, or they might have their stat points distributed slightly different. So you really do have your own character, and that is one of the things that really makes Allods great and stand out from the crowd when it comes to your own character customization. Anyways, like I said, I'm way over time for this video, so sorry about it being so long. I hope this has given you a little bit more insight into how the rubies and the skills work. If I had a little bit more time, I would have shown you maybe some of the other grids and such for other classes, but we're going to stick with the warden for now because it's what we've been doing through the tutorials and stuff. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. I do have some others on the way, and hopefully you'll check them out as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.